Hi guys, and welcome to the last unboxing for today. We're going to be taking a look at the MSI X299 Pro Motherboard, which is a slight upgrade from the one I currently run, which is the X299 SLI Plus. So they're all from the X299 range. Now I've had to order this from the United States because I couldn't find an MSI board of this particular range. So all the X299 Pros. There's a Pro 10G. There's another Pro which I can't remember what that one was, and the SLI Plus. So out of the 4 or 5 motherboards that they do out of this particular range, there was none in the UK that I could find anywhere. I even reached out to MSI. Didn't get anything back from them. I reached out to Overclockers 3D channel, and Tiny Tom came through and he actually contacted MSI and said, yeah, there's none in the country. So big shout out to him. He is one of my go-to channels for tech. He really knows his stuff. He's up there. J2 Sense, Gamers Nexus, Paul's Hardware. Those are the ones to go to in my term. So we're going to unbox this now and take a quick look at it. So it's a slight upgrade, as I say. Most of the features are pretty much standard compared to what I have on my current board. Take that out. Pop there from it. You get a sticker. Wow. So not. I used to be a fan of case stickers, but I don't really get it. You get that looks like a fan cable of some description. A couple of SATA cables. Is that by the looks of it? I'm not sure what that is. That's probably an RGB cable. I'll have to check the manual. Don't know what that one is either. And the IO shield to the back, which I will keep out because I do want to look at that in a moment. And then this side, I can't believe they still do this. No, does anybody use the discs anymore? I don't even use like a drive. There's not going to be a drive in my new system. If you're going to put drivers in there, just do it really. I know it's going to be more expensive, but put a cheap USB stick in or something. It's like that can only you can't reuse, or you can reuse. We've got some tiny little screws. I don't know what they're for. I am a fan of that. Label stickers, big fan of that. I like that. Massive manual. That actual printer. I don't know if I've got the manual still for my other thing. I must have somewhere. I don't remember it being that large though. And then a quick installation guide. That can all go back. I do like that. MSI, well done. Like those be great for labelling up the system. We're gonna do that. I've actually got a label printer. It's down there. So I can print my own, and I actually paid like 35, 40 quid for that. So that I could do all my own labelling of all the cables that come out the backs of my PCs. Because it's a bit of a pain. Let's just pop that down like that. We shall close the box now. And we're going to open up the lovely bag. This out and take a look at it. So as I say, it's virtually the same as mine. So on here, mine hasn't got the covers over these, so this is a nice touch for the old thing, if you can see that, the M.2s. So still has the same M.2s, still has the same PCI Express, same audio as what I currently run. It takes 8 sticks of RAM, which my board does, so it can take up to 256 gigs, so exactly the same as mine. It takes the X299 processor, so I've got what's going to go in here. This is going to go in my new case, the 802, Be Quiet, that they kindly sent me. This is going to have my 10920X, is it an X or a K? It's an X, 10920X in here, which is a 12-core 24-thread processor. Most importantly, it has an extra 8-pin up here. Now, my Be Quiet power supply that I purchased last year, very expensive, 1200 watt, does have the extra cable. I've checked in the box, I have got the extra cable. So if you're going for, and you need that, make sure you've got the cables for your power supply. It's got SATA ports there. I think that's a U.2 thing, USB, 24 power, and so forth around the board. On the back, which is why I kept the I/O shield out. Let me just open this. Feels like sweets. Not, but it's like this. Right, yes. So that's that way. So basically on the back, that's what I'm going to put that down there. You've got your PS2 mouse and keyboard. You've got normal USBs. There, and there. So 4 of those. You've got super speed USBs, which is another 4 there. So 8 USBs. You've got, I believe it's an Intel chip gigabit network, but you've also got a 2.5 gigabit one. Now, I haven't got anything else that's 2.5 gig yet. I'm hoping to replace my NAS at some point, and I'm hoping that I can have an upgrade option to put a PCI card in the NAS that will support 2.5 gig. I might have to buy a 2.5 gig switch as well. So that is going to be useful, considering each of my video files is usually about 4 gig in size. So when I'm doing a batch during a week, copying all those files across, it doesn't take loads of time, but that's going to be a bit quicker, which is great. So I'm looking forward to that. And then you've got a tiny USB-C, and then your audio, which is exactly the same audio as what I've got on the current board. So all in all, yeah, slightly better board than what I've got in there. It's pretty much, it's almost the same, apart from the fact that you've got the extra supplemental power for the CPU, which should help me get this up to 4.6, 4.8 gigahertz, so another 200 megahertz per core, maybe 400. Might even get it past that. We'll see, especially with the extra cooling that Be Quiet's kindly supplied. Obviously, you've got the CPU and fan headers at the top there, which are great, and then all your connectors down the bottom. This, I believe, as well, it does have a. I know this, like you're thinking I'm mad because it's an older platform. It does have a TPM header, so if you needed Windows 11, I recommend. It can support it. You can do the upgrade. It also has, and I need to do a bit of research on this, but it has a JRGB header on this one. My one hasn't, which is interesting because the Silent Loop 2 coolers have RGB, so it's possible it might go into there. I need to do a bit of research to make sure, because there's different types of RGB and different voltages, and I need to check that it's compatible. I'll need to do a little bit of reading up on that. But yeah, so all good. And then obviously power reset and all your normal USBs. Got a lot of USB headers on here actually. So we've got interesting things at the top as well. So you've got a system fan up there, pump fan, CPU fan, J Rainbow 2, whatever that is, header. So that's one of those cables, and a J Corsair 1, which is probably the Commander Pro. Yes, and you have, I can sort of point to them. You've got USB there, USB there. Oh, that's another USB. No, that can't be. Yeah, so that's another USB. So this hasn't got the U.2 connector then, by the looks of it. My one's got a U.2, but that's fine because they're stupidly expensive drives anyway, and nobody uses them. They're only really used in servers and stuff, so having it on this board was kind of silly. You've got another Rainbow 1 connector there, so you got. I'm assuming that's like those RGB strips that you can get. I'll have to look into that. You've then got USB there, so that's 5. System fans there, so 2 there, and then an audio connector there as well. That's interesting. It's got 5 USB headers on there. Wow, that'd be handy. Plug it in. So yeah, all in all, this hopefully will get us up to that that higher CPU level, boosting the speed. And then the cooler will keep it all in check. Hopefully, the cooler that I've got there. I've got a collection. There's my original cooler, my old one. There's my current one, which I'm using in my current setup, which will stay in the current setup, because I'm very happy with that. And then we've got this one, and then we've got another one coming in about a month. So we have 4 water coolers between 2 PCs. Excellent. Right, that's going to be it for today. It's only a short video to quickly give you a tour of what the board's got. One of the main reasons I went for X299 in the first place was it supports quad channel memory. Now, that's not going to mean a lot to most people, and pretty much all the current boards out, with exception to the X299 and the Threadripper boards, are all dual channel. Now, what that effectively means is I'm running 4 sticks of memory in parallel out of the 8. It does mean you got to have more sticks of RAM, which is fine, because you tend to find the price of the RAM about the same. So 4 sticks making up 64 gig is about the same as 2 sticks of 64 gig. It's like the capacity seemed to equal out in terms of price. So 64 gig set for this quad channel is currently about 240 quid. That's what I paid for my first 64 gig. And then I've got a 16 gig set that will go in here as well currently. So that'll be 80 gig in total that runs off of this one. And then my older system, which I'll be running, will have 16 gig until I upgrade this fully to the 128. I'm not going to go 256. That's just silly. And I know everybody's going to put in the comments, 128 is silly. But I run a lot of mods and assets in Skylines, and having there's a few things that make this an exceptional platform for me. Quad channel memory and NVMe drives. That combined together, I can load a modded game Skylines with something like 70 odd mods and about 8 to 12,000 assets in about 5 minutes. And most people on a dual channel memory with sort of normal SSDs and that will take half an hour to an hour. So it's so much quicker to load, and it gives me such a performance boost there. The 2.5 gig NIC on there will be really good to test out at some point in the future. So I look forward to hopefully trying to get a Synology NAS that's got the upgradability to do that at a later date. We'll look at that later in the year maybe. The next thing will be putting 128 gig in. That's going to be my first goal to do with this board. Well, get it up and running. It's the first goal, then the memory upgrade, and then we go from there. So I know this is going to be compatible with all my other components that are going to go in here, which is going to go in the new case, which is sat over in the back, over there, and we'll see what we can get. It was a bit of a shame that like my correspondence on MSI seemed to fall on deaf ears and no one came back to me. I just got the standard sort of email, which is a bit of a shame, but I suspect they get inundated. So I'll give them that. But big shout out to Be Quiet, who supplied the case and the cooler and is sending me another cooler in about a month, because they did listen. And they contacted me and they said, yeah, we can help you out. So really big shout out to them. So looking forward to doing the builds. 2 of them. So I've got to build the old system. I'm hoping once I've put the what I'm going to do is take the stuff out of this one, build the old system, and then hopefully record building the new system on the old system. So that's the intention. And then you can see this all going together, hopefully, which I've never done a build video because obviously I'm building the system that it goes into. So yeah, it's going to be good. We'll be running 2 NVMEs. We'll be running a single SATA 2.5 inch, which I think is a 500 gig. It is a 500 gig. So I've got a 512 gig Sabrent, which is currently in there, going in there, and a 2 terabyte one. So they're the 2 that are going on the board. We've then got a WD 500 gig SATA drive, which is obviously a lot slower, but comes in handy. And then we've got 2 terabyte drives that are going in there. So that's a total of 5 hard drives being plugged into this system, which is good. And as I say, we will get it up to 128 gig. It will be running my 10920X 12 core 24 thread processor, and it will be running my 3080 all off of the Be Quiet 1200 watt power supply. So that's all that's going in there, and obviously the pure bit, which is that I mean, that's going to be adequate. There's not going to be any difference between, or not going to be a lot of difference, I don't think, between this and the new Silent Loop 2 version of this. But we will hopefully be able to sort that out in a month's time and see if there is any difference. Obviously, noise levels will come down, which will be nice. But that's going to also depend on what panels I put on the case. So anyway, that's going to be a lot for today. If you've liked this video, hit the like button. Feel free to comment down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll put all the usual links for Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, Discord, the motherboard. Well, I can't really I can put a link to MSI's page for the motherboard, but you can't really buy this. I was trying to get my hands on there's a 10G version of this, which has 2 add-in cards. And I reached out to Amazon, who was like, oh, it's temporary out of stock. I said, can you really get these back in stock? Because they've been out of stock for like 6 months. And just to put this into perspective, this only supports up to 10th gen. So there's 11th gen and 12th gen processors out now. So it's 2 generations old. So I'm pretty confident that no one's going to get these back in stock anyway. Which is why I had to order it from the States in the first place. It would have been really nice to get the 10G version, because it comes with a 10G add-in NIC that you can plug in, and it also comes with an add-in board that gives you, I can't remember if it's 2 or 4 more NVMe slots on an add-in card. But having said that, somewhere, I think they're up top there, I've got a couple of add-in boards. These are only like single ones, but I got those. I've also got another NVMe drive, which I suddenly just remembered, which is going in the old system. So I probably will configure that as the boot drive on the old system. So I've got a couple of add-in cards for that, so that's not an issue if I want to add more NVMe drives. One of these is an Asus board, and the other one is just a generic brand, which I don't use. They're sat there doing nothing, so I could use those if need be. But it would have been nice to get that 10G NIC, but then who knows. Anyway, until the next time, it is a goodbye from me for now. Bye bye.